discuss is DNS, SMTP, POP, FTP, HTTP, basics of Wi-Fi. So first application layer. So what is application layer? Actually application layer is present at the top of the OSI model. It is a layer. Through this layer only the users can interact. So it provides services to the user. The user, that is the users who are using the mobile or laptop, whatever it may be, that is the through this layer only they are interacting. Okay, so it provides the services to the user. So application layer protocols are remote login to host, that is telnet. Okay, telnet is a protocol which is used to communicate into the remote system, remote location. File transfer protocol, tribal file transfer protocol, electronic mail transfer, that is symbol mail, SMTP, symbol mail transfer protocol, DNS, domain name system, boot, that is bootstrap protocol. So these are the protocols are used in the application layer. So first we will discuss about the topic DNS. Actually DNS is a host name to IP address translation service. That is DNS is mainly used in the internet. That is main purpose of DNS is that is it translate the host name to IP address or IP address to host name. So it is a distributed database implemented in a hierarchy of name servers. So an application level protocol for a message exchange between client and servers. So here you can see that. So first the sender is sending that IP address. What is the IP address? What is the IP address of the so-and-so system? Then the server is giving the IP address. Okay, suppose what is the host name of the IP address? Okay, that also provided by this server. Okay, so then it gives the address name. So purpose of naming is that is addresses are used to locate the objects. So addresses are mainly used to locate the objects. So names are easier to remember than numbers. So that is in our name, for example, the student has the register number and name. So which is easy to remember, the name is easy compared to the register number. So like that, so IP address and names are there, but the names are easier to remember than numbers. So you would like to get to the address or other objects using a name. So DNS, that is domain name system, provides a mapping from names to resources of several types. So DNS, actually why we are using this DNS means it is easier to remember a host name than it is to remember an IP address. Actually the user generally enters the host name automatically, then it will give the IP address. So domain name system goals are, actually main goals of domain name system is basically a wide area distributed database, scalability, decentralized maintenance, robustness, global scope. So DNS contains three components. So one is namespace and another one is resolvers, another one is name servers. Okay, namespace means the specifications for the structured namespace and data associated with the names. Resolvers, so resolvers means that is a client program that extract the information from the name servers. Name server means that is the server programs which hold the information about the structure and the names. Okay, so these are the three main components in DNS. Okay, namespace, resolvers, name server. So first namespace. Actually namespace is classified into two parts. One is flat namespace and another one is hierarchical namespace. Okay, so the flat namespace means that is a name is assigned to the address. So the name is a sequence of character without any structure. Okay, stored in the name of in the form of sequence of character without any structure, then it is called as a flat namespace. Then hierarchical namespace, that is each name is made of several parts. Your domain name is the sequence of label from your node to the root separated by dots. Okay, actually that is, it looks like a tree structure, so you can see that. So this is called as a hierarchical namespace. Okay, so that is this is the root node, then that is a sub nodes. Okay, this is a sub node, that is the root node. At the next parent node, another next that is the children of this node. Okay, so these are the children of this node. Okay, structure, that is substructure, and these are the nodes are called as a leaf nodes. Okay, or these nodes are called as a leaf nodes. So it is, that is, it looks like a tree form, so it is it contains some structure, so that's why it is called as a hierarchical namespace. So hierarchical definitions. Okay, so each node in hierarchy stores the list of names that end name with suffix, actually root node. So these are the sub nodes. Okay, so org.net, .edu, .com, .uk. So these are the subparts. Okay, then this subpart also contains some other subparts. So subpart also contains some other subpart. Okay, the final node is called as a leaf node. Okay. Next, server. Okay, so the two types of servers are there. So that is one is primary server and another one is secondary server. So primary server means, that is, the primary server loads all informations from the disk file, for which it is an authority. Okay, responsibility for creating, maintaining and updating the zone file. But secondary server means it loads all informations from the primary server. So neither creates nor update the zone files. It creates only redundancy. So DNS in the internet. So net, you can see that. So root, it is the root node. So that is the sub nodes are classified into three main parts. One is generic domain, and another one is country domain, and another one is inverse domain. Okay, so generic domains, the three main classifications are generic domain, country domain, inverse domain. Okay, so generic domains first. So here in this diagram you can see the generic domains, that is registered hosts according to their generic behavior. Okay, so here you can see that the registered hosts according to their generic behavior. So each node in the tree defines a domain which is an index to the domain namespace database. Okay, first level in the generic domain section allows 7 possible 3-character labels. Okay, so 3-character labels, what are that? So here you can see that .com, edu, that is commercial purpose, education purpose, government organizations, institution, military, net, org. Okay, so the organization. So all these are the 7 parts. Okay, that is the generic domain section allows 7 possible 3-character labels. These are the 3-character labels. Okay, so index to address, so on so. So next, country domain. Okay, so in this, that is COM, that is commercial organization. This one is educational institution, government institution, international organization, military groups, network support centers, non-profit organizations. Okay, so next, country domain. So country domain section follows the same format as the generic domain, but use 2-character country abbreviations. Okay, so only 2 characters for the country abbreviations. Okay, second level labels can be organizational or more specific national designations. Okay, here you can see that AE, F4, US, ZW. So these are the country domain names. Okay, so next, that is CA, CUP. So all are the country domain names. US, like that. So next, one more domain is there, inverse domain. Actually, inverse domain is used to map an address to a name. Okay, inverse address is mainly used to map an address to a name. Actually, so totally 3 domains are there. One is generic domain, another one is country domain. This inverse domain mainly used to map the address to a name. That is actually mainly the domain name system is mainly used to map the address, between address to the name, or name to address, or address to name, right? So it is used to map the address to the name. Okay, so that is, if a server requests a service from client and the server has a list of authorized clients, then it needs inverse mapping. So inverse or pointer query. Next, resolution. So resolution means actually mapping a name to an address, or an address to a name is called as a name address resolution. Okay, mapping a name to an address or address to a name is called as a resolution. So actually resolver, in this resolution, resolver is there. What are the responsibilities of resolver? Means a host that needs to map an address to a name or a name to an address calls a DNS client named a resolver. DNS client named as resolver. So a resolver contacts the closest DNS server for mapping. Okay, the resolver then contacts the closest DNS server for mapping. Okay, if the server has the information, it replies. Otherwise, it either refers to the resolver to the other servers or ask other server to provide the information. Okay, actually it is classified into two types. Resolution is classified into two types. One is recursive and another one is iterative. Recursive resolution and iterative resolution. So first you can see that in the resolution, that is resolver. So already I said about the resolver. So resolver send the query to the name server. Then the name server send the response. Okay. So it is classified into two types, iterative resolution and recursive resolution. So here you can see that in that iterative resolution, so first that is requesting host send the message to the local DNS server. Okay, requesting host send the message to the local DNS server. Now, so the local DNS server queries the root server. Actually, this DNS server has to is responsible for the requesting host. Okay, suppose it does that is the local DNS server doesn't know the message. Okay, doesn't know the details which are requested by the server requesting host. Then the local server queries to the root server. Okay, if the address is not in its database, okay, in this root server it is not in the database of root server. Okay, it has to, that is which have the name, that is name of an intermediate or authoritative name server, and forward that information to the local name server. Okay, so that it can directly communicate with the intermediate server. Okay, that is authoritative name server. Okay, that's for example, this first host is sending the request to the local DNS server. Actually, if it has the reply, that is the what details it has by this host, that is that if it contains that information, means it has to send the reply. Suppose if it not contains that message, means it has to send the request to the root DNS server. Okay, so root DNS server, if it contains the information, it send the reply. Okay, so to the DNS server send the message. And suppose it doesn't have the message information, then it contact to the top level DNS server. Top level DNS server has the information, means it forward the message to this DNS server, and DNS server send the message to host. Suppose this top DNS level DNS server also not contain the message, again it is sending the authoritative DNS server. Now DNS server, so it has the message, means it send the reply. Okay, it collect the message, the information will be forwarded to the requested host. Okay, so this is a working principle of iterative resolution. Next, recursive resolution. Okay, so recursive resolution. So here you can see that that is a recursive resolution. So that is a client is asking to the UDL server. Okay, so that is UDL server. Client is asking the information to the UDL server. That is a resolver can ask for a recursive answer from the name server. Actually, EDU server, that is UDU server send the message to EDU server. EDU server send the message to root server. Okay, so root server send the message to com server send the message to the Google server. Okay, so finally, if it has the message, so Google server has the message, then it return the message to Google server has the message, means it forward the message to com server, then com server forward the message to root server forward the message to EDU server forward the message to UDL server. UDL server forward the message to client. Okay, then finally the client receives the message. Okay, for example, it is send the request. What is the IP address of www.google.com? Okay, so that is a recursive method. Then the IP address of google.com is, it is collected from the Google server itself. Okay, so it forward the message, okay, like that it forward to the corresponding server. The corresponding server send the reply, and the reply is forwarded to so and so nodes, and finally the client receives the message. Okay, that is called recursive resolution. So okay, now you can understand the difference between iterative and recursive resolution. So recursive means it forward the message to the higher level system, but iterative means it forward the message to it, that is that system server will be uh, responsible for taking the message. Okay, collecting the message. Okay, it contact to all type of servers direct. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, that's all about DNS. So DNS main thing is, so that is collecting the address of the system or system name, address of the name or name to the address, mapping between name to address or address to name. Next thing, SMTP. Okay, next protocol, SMTP, that is Symbol Mail Transfer Protocol. SMTP, Symbol Mail Transfer Protocol. So SMTP is used for sending and receiving the message. Okay, in internet we are using this SMTP for sending and receiving the message. So users typically use a program that uses the SMTP for sending email, and either POP3 or IMAP for receiving the mail. Okay, so everyone is using the email, right? So by in this email we are using the SMTP protocols are used to transmit the message. Okay, so but in POP3 and IMAPs are used to receive the message. See, major application layer components, actually that is in SMTP. So two main components are there. One is user agent. Okay. Another one is mail transfer agent. Okay. So that is here you can see that this one is user agent and another one is mail transfer agent. Okay. So two types of agents are there. Okay. So user A and user B both are sending the message, means these two agents will be activated. Next, first, what are the responsibilities of user agent? So user agent prepares the message, enclose it in an envelope. Okay, first it prepares the message and enclose it in an envelope. Okay, so the software you use to read, compose and organize the email messages. Okay, so composing the message, reading the message, reply the message, forward the message, handling the mailboxes. Okay, so everything are the responsibilities of user agent. Okay, so the user agent provides services to the user to make the process of sending and receiving a message easier. Okay, so next, mail transfer agent. SMTP also allows the use of relays, okay, allowing other MTAs, that is mail transfer agent, to relay the mail. See, here you can see that is mail transfer agent, user agent. Okay, so the two main agents, main components are there in the SMTP. User agent prepares the message and enclose it in envelope. Mail transfer agent transfers the mail across the internet. Okay, so it prepares and put it in the envelope, and then it transferred to the mail across the internet. The MTA, okay, is responsible for the message. Okay, transfer the message through the internet. Okay, at the receiver side, MTA server again receive the message and it hand over to the user agent. User agent deliver the message to the user B. Okay, what are the commands used in SMTP? Hello message, that is hello message. Okay, everyone knows that first initiation hello message. Mail from, that is sender's email address. Receipt to, that is receiver's email address. Data, body of message. Quit means the terminate the SMTP connection. Or set, that is about the mail transfer, about the mail reset, that is about the mail transaction. Verify, VRFI means verify, that is ask receiver to verify the validity of the mailbox. The EXP, and that is as the receiver to identify mailing list. help, causes the receiver to send help information. Loop, that is forces server to verify the communication with SMTP server. So SMTP protocol for exchanging email message format. SMTP protocol for exchanging email message format. Okay, so this is the format. You can see the format here. So the body of the message, then address is there. Okay, so envelope, that is message, overall message, it just looks like a letter. Okay, so inside you have a body, that is the data message. Okay, whatever the information you have to enter, that will be entered into this body part. Okay, then header. Okay, header, address. Okay, from address to address, you got to write the address. Okay, then the address, envelope, so mail from address to address. Okay, so whenever you send the email message, so data will be there, then address, from address, your address also will be there, to address, the mail ID also you should write, right? Then only it will be delivered to the particular receiver. So mail from, mail to. Okay, so status code. So the server responds with a 3-digit code that may be followed by the text information. Okay, status code. So you can see here the status, that is 2xx. 2xx, that is the SMTP server has accepted the command. Okay, 2xx means that is a status. It intimates the message that SMTP server has accepted the command and has completed the request. So 3xx, that is it is a command is accepted and more information follows. Next 4xx. So try again later. Okay, 4xx means, so it intimates the message try again later, as there was a temporary failure with the command of the server. Okay, next 5xx. So the requested operation will never be completed due to the permanent error. Okay, so these are the status code, indicate some information. Okay, text information. Okay, actually it's send the only these codes only. So by using this code they can understand the message. Okay, for example, if it's sent 2xx means 200 201, some messages, commands will be there. Okay, so codes will be there. So based on the code meaning they can understand the concept. Okay, what happened there. Okay, 2xx means that is SMTP server has accept the command. Okay, and complete the request. Okay, fine. But 3xx means but accepted and some more information follows. Okay, 4xx, okay, try again later. Maybe some it may be busy, or it may be due to some problem, it may not receive the message. So it send the message that try again later. So you can see that whenever some of the sometimes if you are entering into the website, that is accessing the website, means sometimes the try again later is show the message, right? So maybe due to some problem, so it is showing the message. That is called as a 4xx. Okay, 5xx, the requested operations will never be completed due to permanent error. Sometimes the system will be permanently, some error will be there, right? So we can't access. You may try so many times, you may not access the system, right? So that is called as a permanent error. Okay, that is indicated by the message 5xx. Okay. So then, what are the limitations of SMTP? That is, security matters for SMTP were worst. Okay, so security is so poor in SMTP. It actually its usefulness is limited by its simplicity. Okay, it is so simple to work. But transmission of executable files and binary files using SMTP is not possible without converting into the text files. Okay, after converting text files only you can execute. So for this you have to use, with addition to the SMTP, one more protocol, MIME. Okay, so that is the protocol which is used to send to mail in other format. MIME, what's the full form of MIME? Means multi-purpose internet mail extension. Multi-purpose internet mail extension. So this is the protocol along with SMTP. It is used to send mail in other format. Okay. Now, and it cannot transmit the text data that contains national language characters. So these national language characters uses 8-bit codes, okay, with values of 128 decimals or more. So it is limited to 7-bit ASCII characters only. So these are the drawback in SMTP. So when you come to the point of advantages, it is very popular. It is supported on many platforms. So low administration and implementation cost is required. Simple addressing scheme. So these are the main advantages. But some special features in SMTP is mail forwarding. Okay, so mail forwarding means that is SMTP server may agree to accept email for non-local mailbox and forward it to the appropriate destination. Okay, that is SMTP server may agree to accept the email for non-local mailbox. Okay, and also it forward to the appropriate destinations. Next, mail gateway. Mail gateway SMTP servers can be implemented as email gateways which can translate the TCP/IP email in a suitable form for some another email system and vice versa. So that is called as a mail gatewaying. Okay. Next, mail relay and address debugging, mail list expansion. So these are the some special features in by using SMTP. Okay. So mail forwarding, mail gatewaying, mail relaying, address debugging, mailing list expansion. So these are the special features. Next, problems with SMTP. Okay, what are the problems with SMTP? No inherent security, authentication, encryption. Okay, so these are the problems in SMTP. So only uses NVT, that is Network Virtual Terminal, 7-bit ASCII format only used. Okay, that is the drawback in SMTP problems. But the solution is that is for along with SMTP we can use the extension to SMTP, that is one of the protocol MIME, multi-purpose internet mail extension. That protocol can be used to avoid this problem. Okay, so that's all about SMTP, symbol mail transfer protocol. So the next protocol is POP3. Okay, so next protocol is POP3. That is full form of POP is Post Office Protocol. Okay, Post Office Protocol. So the 3 is the version. Okay, POP3. Actually, Post Office Protocol version 3 has been the most popular protocol for receiving the message. Okay, this is the most popular protocol for receiving the message. Actually, it is an application layer internet standard protocol used by local email clients. Okay, from a remote server over a TCP/IP connection. So it is a original mail access protocol, so simple and allows the user to obtain the list of their emails, and it is the most popular protocol to use to transfer the message from the permanent mailbox to a local computer. This is the main point here. It is the most popular protocol. It is used to transfer the message from the permanent mailbox to a local computer. So when the user invokes a POP3 client, it establishes the TCP connection and contracts a POP3 server on the mailbox computer. So the user send a login and password to authenticate the session. Okay, the user then send the login and password to authenticate the session. So POP3 actually, if the login was actually successful, then the client send a command to retrieve the copies of message and to delete the message from the permanent mailbox. Okay, both SMTP server and POP3 server must synchronize the access to the mailbox. So the session established by TCP connection by the port ID 110, that is 110. Okay, actually that is if the user send a login and password to authenticate the systems, right? After the login, that is if the login is successful, the client send a command to retrieve the copies of message and to delete the message from the permanent mailbox. Okay, so actually both SMTP server and POP3 server must synchronize access to the mailbox, because SMTP is used for sending the message and POP3 is used for receiving the message, right? POP3 and one more protocol IMAP also is used for receiving the message. So both should be synchronized to access the mailbox. So here you can see that POP3 download the email from the server to a single computer, then deletes the email from the server. That is a permanent mailbox. Okay, that is they delete from the server. So it allows you to download email messages on your local computer and read them even when you are offline. Okay, so when you download the message from the system to your mailbox to your system, okay, it allows you to that is a download email message them even when you are in offline also. Okay, so POP3, how POP3 works. Okay, actually the incoming messages are stored at the POP server until the user login using an email client. Okay, and download the message to their computer. Okay, just now only I have I said about that. That is after user download the message, it is deleted from the server. Then you can offline itself you can work with this system mailbox. So here you can see the diagram. So POP3 server actually first client user computer, that is this client sending the request username, that is login name password. Okay, user is, that is a client is sending the request, that is login name username to the server. Okay, then server verify that as a username and it send the message. Okay, next POP3 client. Okay, then after receiving the message from server, now client send the password. Okay, now the server verify the password. Okay, whether it is correct, then it ensures that if it is correct, then it send the message okay to the client. Okay, okay, then list the list all the things, then email numbers and size, whatever the things, email, etc., everything whatever you need, everything will be forwarded from the server. So it retrieve the message. Okay, how many number of emails you need, all the numbers of mails can be retrieved from the server by client. Okay, so this is the working principle. The main thing, first it has to verify the username and password. Once it is okay, then it send the messages. Okay, email messages to the client. Okay. These are the POP3 commands. Username for authentication, password used for authentication, STAT, that is it is used to display the number of messages currently in the mailbox. List, it is used to get the summary of messages where each message summaries are shown. Okay, list the messages. Okay, summary messages. The delete messages from the mailbox. Okay, delete message from mailbox. Reset, that means cancel the previous delete request. So quit, update mailbox. Okay, and quits. So these are the commands used in the POP3. Actually, in session proceeds through several states. Okay, what are the states which is used to the in this session? Authorization, transaction, update. Okay, so authorization means that is entered upon the TCP connect and establish the client identity as a valid mailbox owner. That means that is username and password transmitted in the plain text. Next, transaction, entered upon authorization, interact with server to read, delete the message. Next, update, enter the upon quit command, resource cleanup on server side and TCP disconnect. So no information state is maintained between the session. Okay, note down the point. No information state is maintained in the between the sessions. Okay, so these are the states used in this session: authorization, transaction, update. Next, advantages of POP. For receiving emails only on one single device. Okay, receiving email only on one single device, POP3 is useful. So POP3 does not require an internet connection for accessing the downloaded mails. Okay, does not require an internet connection for accessing the downloaded mails. Actually, common clients using POP3. So these are the clients are using the POP3: Edora, Gmail, Outlook Express, Mozilla, Netscape, Internet Explorer. Okay, all the browsers are using this POP3 protocol only. So that's all about POP3. So POP3 is used to receive the message mail. SMTP is used to send the mail. Now FTP, File Transfer Protocol. So it is the simplest and most secure way to exchange the files over the internet. So file transfer protocol is mainly used to transfer the files from one place to another place. Okay, so the transferring files from a client computer to a server computer is actually called as an uploading, and transferring from a server to a client is called as an downloading. Okay, actually in file transfer protocol two parts are there, two things are there. One is uploading and another one is downloading. So everyone knows that uploading, what is uploading, what is downloading. So uploading means that is the transferring files from your client computer to a server computer. Okay, transferring from your system to server system, that is called as an uploading. Suppose you are downloading the files. Okay, some of the files you are downloading from the net. That means that is you are transferring the from the server to your system client. That is called downloading. So to access an FTP server, so users must be able to connect to the internet, okay, or an intranet. So with through the internet only you can access. You can either downloading or uploading the files. So with an FTP client program, with the FTP client program only you can upload or download the files. Okay, file transfer protocol. That is, a file transfer protocol is used to transmit the data from one sender to another receiver. Here you can see the diagram. Okay, so that is user is sending the data. That is a client to server. How it communicate the message. Okay, client is sending the message to the server. How it communicates the message. You can see here, right? Client is sending the message in the client. So three parts are there. One is user interface, and another one is control process, and another one is data transfer process. Okay, so that is control process, user interface, through the user interface, and control process, data transfer process. Okay, three classifications are there. Okay, now client send the data to the server. Okay, in this server also control process and data transfer process. Okay, both parts are there. These two parts are available in server side. Okay, so user interface is not here. Okay, because the user client only sending the request. So through the user interface it forward the message. Okay, now TCP IP data connection, through this data connection TCP IP it transmit the message to the server file transfer protocol. So here also you can see that that is connection client server, client server. Actually symbol diagram you can see that the data transfer process. Okay, server data transfer process. So client is sending the request to the server, server is sending the reply to the server. Okay, so many activities, maybe list of files or directories, whatever it may be. So client, that is you are a client. Okay, you can download so many files from the server. Okay, that is you are downloading the notes, or you can download the movie, or you can download the music, so you can download the images, so many things. Okay, whatever it may be, you are sending the request to the server, server is sending the reply, right? That is called as a list of files or directories. Okay, so many list of files can be, you can download from the server. Okay, that is called as a file. For that purpose, downloading or uploading file transfer protocol is used. Okay, so here also you can see that so many control connections are showed in this diagram. That is 220, that is service ready. Okay, then username. Okay, username okay. Then the 331 is the status code. Okay, username okay, or password. Then password is send the message, password 230. That is server, client is sending the request to server, server is sending the reply. So that is all the things. Okay, port ID. Okay, data connection. So all the things are data. After verifying all the things, okay, finally it start to transmit the data. Okay, data transfer. That is client is sending the request to the server. So many process. Okay, that is username, password, port ID, all the connections are okay. Finally it transmit the data. So server send the requested data to the client, data transfer. Once the data transmit is over, it is terminate the connection. Okay, so that's all about file transfer. So the same thing only, data transfer process. So client send a storing file or requesting a file from the server. Okay, then server send the reply. Okay, so that is retrieving a file. Okay, the client retrieving the file from the server. Okay, so it retrieve the file and it transmit to the client. So these are the FTP clients: FileZilla, Fire FTP, Dreamweaver. So these are the FTP clients. So for example, okay, downloading the MP3 song, online games. So everything can be downloaded by using the file transfer protocol. So FTP commands, the major three types of commands which are used in the FTP are access control commands, transfer parameter commands, FTP service commands. Okay, so these are the three types of commands. Next, that's all about file transfer protocol. Next, HTTP. It is a protocol that supports communication between web. HTTP is the protocol that supports communication between web browsers and web servers. Okay, it is an application protocol that is mainly used to retrieve the web pages from remote servers. So it is a request response protocol. So it is stateless protocol. So stateless protocol means actually two classifications, stateless, stateful, two types are there. Stateless protocol means it does not maintain a state of the session. Okay, it does not maintain the state of a session. And asynchronous, an HTML document is loaded asynchronous by the browser as soon as parts of it are available. So latest version HTTP 1.1. So it run on top of TCP on the standardized port number 80. So mainly the HTTP protocol is supports for communication between the web browsers and web servers. Okay, so there is a main protocol which is used in the browsers and servers. So request response mechanism is used. Okay, so HTTP protocol characteristics. What are the main characteristics of HTTP? Request response mechanism. Okay, then resource identification, statelessness, metadata support. So these are the characteristics of HTTP. So request response mechanism means that is a transaction is initiated by a client sending the request to the server. Then server generate the response. That is called request response mechanism. So that is initiated by the client. A client is sending the request to the server. Server send the response. Okay, server is sending a request means any request. For that request, it send the response. Server send the response. Next, resource identification. So each HTTP request includes a URI, uniform resource identifier. Okay, that is used to identify the resource. URI is used to identify the resource. Next, statelessness. The server does not maintain any information about the transaction. That is called statelessness. Suppose it is maintaining the session details means it is called as a statefulness. Okay. Metadata support. Metadata about information can be exchanged in the message. Okay, HTTP transaction. Okay, client is sending the request to the server. Server is sending the response to the client. So here you can see that request message contain what are the informations. Okay, request line, header, then blank line, after that body. Okay, so the body of the message actually header of the message. Okay, that is in between one blank line is separating the header and the body of the message. Okay, then the request line. Okay, it is available for the in the form of a request message. Then the response message structure. Okay, response message actually that is body of the data and blank line and header. Here that is response message gives a status line. Okay, what is the status of the message, particular message? Okay, status line. Here it is requesting line, that is it refers the request line. Here the status line. All other things are same as in request message and response message. Both the message it contains the same structure. Okay. So in HTTP we are using some of the methods. It is the important methods which are that is get, head, post, put, trace, connection, option. Okay, so these are the methods we are using in the HTTP. So get is used to request a document from the server. Okay, head that is requesting the document from the server. That is the client is sending the request to the server. That is request response method, right? So get method is used to request the document from the server. So head that is request information from the client to the server. Okay, post send some information from the client to the server. Put send the document from server to the client. Okay, so when the client is sending the request, then server send the reply. That is by using the put method. Send a document from the server to the client. Trace echoes the incoming request. Trace echoes the incoming request. Then connection, it is resolved. Option inquires about available options. Okay, any options are there, you can mention by using this method. So these are the methods which are used in the HTML. So this is a structure. First starting line. Okay, there is arrange return line feed. Next message header. Next message body. Okay, so starting line, header, next body. So HTTP transaction, you can see that HTTP request format. Okay, so request line, header line, carriage, return, feed, message, body. Okay, so the same thing only. That is a request line, that is a get method. So which method is used here in HTTP request format? Definitely you are using the get method. okay, slash that index.html, that is a file name, index.html, http, then the version, okay. Specify the request method. This is the request method, okay, format. Next, specify the resources via URI and metadata. URI is the identifier, so header lines, okay, the host address, date. Next, user agent, accept language, so which language it is used to accept, it is going to accept. Then user agent, who is the user agent, okay, so that is a browser name. So everything should be mentioned here in the header lines, okay. Which browser you are going, so through some browser only you are accessing the data. It may be a Mozilla Firefox or Internet Explorer or Google Chrome, right? So that name should be identified here. So in the header line, it should be mentioned which browser you are using, okay. All the informations are available here. Next, carriage return line feed, again the body of your information. So this is the request message format. So the main methods, request methods, get method, post method. So two main types of methods are used. Get method is mainly used for identified by the request URI, get static content and data produced by the program. Post method, submit the information to web browser, okay, posting to blog, submission of user form. So these are the examples of post method. Request methods, head, put, delete. So these are the request methods, okay. Again, trace method, options, all are the request method. Next, response format, okay. So response format, so here also the same thing, that is header line, carriage return, body. So all these things are same as HTTP request format. Only the thing here, the request line in HTTP request message, in response message, the status line, okay, that is HTTP slash 1.0, the status, okay, 200, okay, 200 means okay, fine, okay, that is the message, indicate the status code, okay, 200, 300, 400, 500, okay, 500 means permanent error, so 400, try again later. So the codes will be mentioned here, status code, okay. So it is the response format, HTTP response format. So the same response messages, that is 1xx means information success. Information, that is information, that is request received continuing access action. 2xx, okay, successfully received the message, okay, it understood and accepted the message, okay. So 3xx, redirection. 4xx, client error. 5xx, server error, okay. So these are the status intimated by these codes. So HTTP cookies, that is HTTP is a stateless protocol. So the cookies manages the state maintenance by shifting the burden to the client. So cookies are transmitted in clear text, okay, security issue. So that is in client and server, you can see that first client request. So usually HTTP request, normally HTTP request, by using the HTTP request, it send the request. Now server send the message, that is usually HTTP response. First actually in HTTP working principle, first it has to send the, that is HTTP means it is a request response format, right? That is request. So client is sending the request to the HTTP request to the server. Then the server is sending the client response, okay, response message, including the header line, okay. So including the header line, it transmits the response, okay. After receiving that, then second request, okay. Usually that is HTTP request, including header line, okay, set cookies. Okay, after that, okay, usual HTTP response, okay, is sent to the sent by the server to the client. Okay, actually, client does not interpret the cookie string. String server is presented with the previously written state of informations. So that's all about HTTP protocol. So what are the methods are used in HTTP protocol? So stateless. These are actually working principle, methods, all the things are discussed in HTTP. Next thing, Wi-Fi basics. Okay, so Wi-Fi basics. Wi-Fi, everyone knows about nowadays. Everyone is using the mobile based on the Wi-Fi or wireless medium. Wi-Fi, actually wireless technology is an alternative to wired technology. Wireless technology is an alternative to wired technology, right? So we know the complication of wired technology, right? So many wires will be used. So which is commonly used for connecting devices in wireless mode. Actually, Wi-Fi is a generic term that refers to the IEEE 802.11 communication standard for wireless local area networks. So, Wi-Fi network connect the computers to each other to the internet and to the wired networks. So, Wi-Fi works on physical and data link layer. Okay. So, that is in the OSI model, physical and data link layer only Wi-Fi works. So, you can see the diagram, that is the cables. Okay, so that is in this cable the rats are built the nest in within the wires. Next, cables for keyboard, mouse, power, etc. So many cables. You can see the system. Okay, that is oldest system. So many cables will be connected. That is the back side of the system. So many cables are connected, right? Power cable, keyboard cable, mouse cable. So many cables will be there. Okay, all are wired medium. So many complications also will be there. But so purpose of Wi-Fi is to hide the complexity of the wired. Okay, the so many complexity will be, so many wires are connected with, so many complications may be there. So the purpose of Wi-Fi is to hide the complexity by enabling wireless access to applications and data, media and streams. So the main aims of Wi-Fi are make access to information easier. Okay, ensure the compatibility and the coexistence of the devices, eliminate complex cabling. So eliminate switches, adapters, plugs, pins and connectors. So all these for these purpose only we are using this Wi-Fi. So here you can see the Wi-Fi network, how the Wi-Fi network works. Okay. Here Wi-Fi network, that is wireless router is there. So broadband modem is there. So through the broadband modem, wireless router activated to the so many computers, right? So here the entertainment consoles are, so many consoles are there, printers. So many cables. Okay, all are connected. You can see here by using Wi-Fi networks. So these are the applications. So you can look at the PPT. So what are the applications? Okay, that is Wi-Fi is used for mobile phones, aerospace, medical electronic, automotive car electronic, industrial home networking, network and server equipments. Okay, all the things, gaming. So for this, in this field and all, we are using this Wi-Fi. So advantages, mobility. Mobility means, okay, anywhere, anytime we can access the data. Easy of installation. Installation is very easy. Flexibility, cost, reliability, cost is reliability, security, use unlicensed part of the radio spectrum, roaming, speed, all are the advantages of Wi-Fi, right? So when you come to the point of disadvantages, inference, degradation in performance, high power consumption, limited range. Okay, so these are the drawbacks. Okay, that's all about Wi-Fi. So here in this session we have discussed the topic only DNS, HTTP, FTP, POP3, Wi-Fi. That's all.